Here one. Well, hey, how you all doing? Welcome back again to the channel. And again, we're into the list here of videos that are being more or less a request. And what I've done with this one here too, somebody it actually kind of wasn't a question, it was more of a kind of a statement that came up in a conversation. And the comment that he made was, unconditional love is not possible when a person has a bunch of expectations and agendas and mixed in with it. And I have to say that I actually agreed with the person. And I want to kind of do this video kind of on that kind of basis. Unconditional love is not possible when a person is full of expectations and agendas. And I think putting the clipboard down here is one of the things that I see with a great many people, and especially in the area of when we're having connections with other people. One of the things that I see happening consistently all of the time, especially when they have a very, very intense connection, and there's that big implosion in the heart center, and immediately what happens is nowadays, in any case, is this the one? Is this a soulmate? Is it a twin flame? Is it a false twin flame? Is it this? Is it that? Is it this? And then a person will usually sort through some of their feelings and some of their concepts and some of their ideas, and we'll kind of put that category all under the title of belief systems. And then when the belief systems have come into play and they formulate based on their belief systems an agenda and expectations. And what that means is, based on their present belief systems about relationships, they will formulate a whole pile of agendas and expectations. And I don't know how many times I see this, is especially with the intensity of the connections that we're having nowadays. Everybody out there, and this is happening in the spiritual community, in all of the venues of the spiritual community, all the way through, where people are continually having these very intense connections, and it's creating all kinds of extraordinary experiences, out-of-body experiences. They're having telepathic communication. They're having sexual experiences in the etheric or the astral plane, the dream state. They're finding a whole bunch of bodily changes taking place within themselves. And it seems to me, and I've noticed this very much lately, that as soon as all of this starts happening, the one thing that I'm noticing people are not doing is they're not allowing the experiences or the exchanges of energy to simply allow them to come into some kind of form or shape. And I know I've discussed this in previous videos, but it's becoming a really big thing, because I keep hearing people say all of the time, well, I'm really having this problem with my soulmate, or I'm really having this problem with my twin flame, and we're working out karmic stuff, or we're working out this and we're working out that. And I'm saying to myself, why are they saying work? Why do you need to work at it? Why is it the work mode always comes into play? Because that's what people believe. That's what they've been taught. That's an ingrained belief system in a lot of us, that if you want to achieve something, you have to work at it. That's what you've been taught in the everyday life cycle of living and being who you are as a person. You have a job, and if you want to move up in the job, you have to work at it. You have to achieve the next level. You have to challenge yourself, push yourself to achieve. The component, that everybody is missing at this particular point is this, is when you have this connection take place, one of the basic components that's happening when this connection takes place, under whatever label you want to choose, is you have that energetic connection. The energetic connection does something very, very important. It activates, and I'm going to keep going back in my videos, time after time after time, repetitively, until it really starts to sink in with a lot more people. When these connections get going, the one most important thing that happens is the heart center chakra opens. And as many of you know, it can produce a whole flotore, if that's not pronounced right, I do apologize. A whole different bunch of experiences, unique to everybody and their situation. And when the connection is involving with another person, it is especially a time when the person is really going to get into belief systems that they have going. And I hear many times, you'll hear this from people, oh, we're having this problem or this issue or this challenge or this is happening, but it's okay. I love him or her unconditionally. Let me inform you of something. When you use the words in that sentence, you're not capable of manifesting unconditional love. When you find yourself in a situation with another person that is at the problem level, or you're, as many of you like to call it, working through some sort of situation, you are not capable, and it's not possible for you to be emanating unconditional love. You have the vehicle or the source or the chakra that can produce what you call unconditional love, and you can emanate the energy of it initially as it activates, but immediately as it activates, what do? Everyone does it. I did it, you did it, and everyone else in the future for a while is going to continue to do it, is as it begins to emanate, you start thinking about what is it, what can I do with this, what this, so you start adding in belief systems as to what it is. You start adding in agendas and expectations of what it is, what it's supposed to do. You look for information to confirm. Nobody, as a rule in this day and age, spends any time at all trying on their own to figure out exactly what's going on by themselves. Nobody does it anymore. It just doesn't happen. Spending time with yourself just doesn't exist. So what does everybody do? They Google on the internet for what they're feeling. And what are they going to get? They're going to get somebody else's opinion, information, and that person may be not much further ahead than you. And the person may be partially through the experience. And they're reflecting on their experiences and giving you the information. So you attach to that particular thing because you can grasp what they're saying. So you've taken the belief system that you had prior and you've let it go, and you have now attached yourself to a new belief system. But here's the problem. And this is a major problem in the spiritual community. The belief system that you have attached yourself to is not yours. It's somebody else's. I want to repeat that. The belief system that you've attached yourself to is not yours. It's somebody else's. And people say, well, we're always going to have belief systems. Yes, we are. But where is the point of origin of the belief systems that you have? Most people, when they talk about unconditional love, have formulated that concept of unconditional love based on someone else's opinion, information, statement, blog, video, or experience. And where did they get it from? They most likely got it from somebody else. Because you cannot possibly emanate any sense of unconditional love based on those belief systems and expectations and agendas that kind of go along with it. So as you're going along and you're doing this, what you're doing is you're adding to the confusion by adding in other people's belief systems, and then other people will create for you an expectation and an agenda that you didn't create. Let me put it another way here. If as you're going along, there's nothing wrong with creating new belief systems if you're doing it for yourself. There's nothing wrong either of having expectations and agendas based on your belief system. This is the difference. Not someone else's belief system that you have taken on as yours. And you need to really take a look at your own spiritual journey and take a look at this very serious point. This is a really serious video here. This video can actually prevent a lot of you from getting yourself into a real jackpot by accepting someone else's belief system about unconditional love that has attached expectations and agendas to it, so that you can go back and take a look at yours and then say to yourself, oh, I think I'm getting what Mel is saying, because that is exactly what I did. I went out and I looked at the information on unconditional love, and I took the belief system that somebody already created and created it as my own. And then after that, I had an expectations and agenda based on their belief system that I incorporated, that I didn't create myself. This changes the whole format, because it's okay to have expectations and agendas. I'm not saying it's wrong. It's not wrong. It just indicates where you are in your evolutionary process of spiritual growth and heart center awakening. So if you have taken the time to consider what I've suggested of going back and taking a look, and you may want to redefine some of your thoughts on unconditional love, expectations, and agenda, all right? And you decide, well, I'm going to listen to what he said. I'm going to create my own expectations and agenda based on a concept of unconditional love as to what I think it is myself, without other people's input. So that when you say, I love my twin flame or my soulmate unconditionally as you're having problems, you will actually know you're saying something that's true from your perspective, your understanding, your level of consciousness. The idea here is this, is when you identify you without filtering in the identification of someone else's filtering system, you're becoming a co-creator as you move along. And this is what unconditional love is all about. Unconditional love is a word, an expression, as we see it in a limited capacity. As we evolve and continue to grow and evolve, we won't even use the word, well, I love somebody unconditionally. Unconditional is not possible with agendas and expectations to it. But as you continue to grow and evolve, and you attract into your life, your experiences, higher and higher challenges that evoke, push, shove, kick, in some cases, you to move beyond your expectations and agendas, which can be painful, very uncomfortable, hurtful, and downright aggravating. What can happen is you can change them to the point where you'll say, well, okay, well, if he's saying what he's saying and I'm feeling this energy coming from my heart, but my agendas and my expectations are mixing up the matrix, then he's right. I'm not emanating unconditional love, am I? If I have an agenda and expectation, it's not unconditional, it's conditional. Absolutely. This is exactly what's going on with the population in the spiritual community right now. So how do you get to the point where unconditional love is a state of being for yourself? You see, what I've been talking about is a state of mind. Unconditional love right now is being presented by people as a state of mind through belief systems. Unconditional love needs to be presented and emanated from a person as a state of being, not of mind. So how do you get from mind to a state of being? You don't. It's a process that will happen internally through the exposure and the experiences that you have. Many times you'll see people in a lot of the twin flame groups, I would imagine happens in soulmate groups also, and whatever other type of groups in respect to relationships are going on. They will keep using the expression, well, I'm really having this difficult time. We're in separation. He's being a real ass or she's being a real jerk, but it's okay. I love her or him unconditionally. No, you don't. If you did, you wouldn't even be making the statement, and you wouldn't be saying it in public at all. Because if you really were emanating unconditional love, potentially you're on your way to union with that particular person or anyone else that you would so choose or vibrate with. You see. So belief systems create the reality of expression of your definition of unconditional love. And unconditional love is not a stationary object. It doesn't focus to a certain vibration and stay there and say, okay, you're now emanating unconditional love. You're going to be like that for the rest of the duration. Unconditional love is a state of being. State of being is evolving and continually moving higher and higher in vibration. So as you see the objects, situations, circumstances, people, family, friends, co-workers, whatever, coming toward you, and you're dealing with different situations with them, this is consciousness expressing an opportunity to you to continue to change and evolve and move up into what you call unconditional love, And this is exactly what's happening to a great many people now. Now, what I am doing is I'm keeping my videos shorter at this particular point in time. And I don't want to go on too much longer than this one. And 20 minutes maximum is what I want to go from now on, if possible. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of wrap it up by saying that every time you think you're going to use the term unconditional love, remember, that's saying it from a state of mind. The only way that you can actually say you're experiencing unconditional love is a state of being. And what's a state of being? Presence. Someone who is emanating what you popularly call, in your reality, unconditional love, emanates it as a presence, as an energy, as an aura, as a radiation, as a personality that simply radiates, a personality that simply either you love or you hate. Because people who radiate that wholesomeness of soul, of spirit, of body, of mind, are simply have it. And when you have it, you emanate, you radiate it, and you don't need to talk about it. I hope that was helpful. Have a great day, everybody.